people? Welcome back to episode 9, season 2 of the What's Good podcast. That's a completely different podcast. This is the Over in 80 Minutes podcast, and we're going to keep it in to prove the podcast is natural, because that's probably the funniest thing I'll say all afternoon. I'm joined this week by an absolute superstar. Not only that, she just is incredible. We've been talking off camera, and I haven't stopped smiling because she's so funny. So I'm really looking forward to this. But we'll give her the proper intro she deserves. 15-time select Scotland international sprinter. She's fresh off emphatic wins in Finland, claiming the gold medal for both the W35 200 metres and the 400 metres. She's brought them back to the good old rolling hills of the borders. Stacey Downie, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm great, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm sublime now that you're here. We've had a bit of rush hour traffic to get home to get this organised, but we're here now, and that's what counts.
Yeah.
So, how's the day been?
It's been pretty good, yeah. Just chilling, teacher life when I'm on holiday. So yeah, chilling with the cats, trying to make most of the sunshine, trips to the physio, just enjoying the free time that I've got and trying my best to read, hence all the books behind me in the bookcase. Get those books, some of those read when I can, when I'm off. So all good here.
You've got the working from home setup sorted. You can't have all the you've got to get the books out, you've got to get everything. You need a couple of clothes hooks. I'll give you some pointers. Clothes hooks and blue tack. That's all you need.
This wall definitely needs some work. So
But you've just won some things that can get hung up there, so we'll talk about those in a quick minute.
Yeah, sure.
But first, everybody's been loving these questions, and I've loved it because people come up with the most wonderful items that I've never even pictured. So the first one is, what is the favourite bit of memorabilia you've collected yourself in your journeys in the world of athletics?
I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but on my bookcase behind me, I've got a picture with me and Daley Thompson.
Oh, cool.
Grab it if you want. So I was at a training day, and I got a chance to meet him when I was like an
awesome
athlete. So that's us there. It's pretty cool. And my favourite so meeting him would be my favourite kind of photo. My favourite memorabilia actually is this thing that's meant to go up on my wall. It's a picture of John Carlos.
Amazing.
The guy was in the 1968 Black Power Salute, and he became the bronze medalist in the 200 metres. And I was at a talk with him in 2012.
That must have been so inspiring.
Before the Olympics, yeah, he's brilliant. And I got his book as well signed, and his story was just fascinating. So to hear about him standing up for rights for everybody really in sport, not just for Black people, but just for everyone to be treated fairly was really inspiring. And every time I look at that poster, it kind of makes me think that we're doing it for more than just ourselves. We're doing it for other people that are maybe not so fortunate. And I just it's meeting him, I was kind of starstruck because I was like, well, you've been an Olympic medalist before. Like that's a huge deal, but you're known for more than just your sport. And I think that's kind of, I'd like to be known for more than just my sport is kind of what I'd like to do before I kind of time's up.
Wow, that's amazing. I say this like there's random sentences I hear on this podcast where I think I know that sentence will stay with me long after the podcast goes and when I'm doing whatever it is old numpties do in their spare time. But that's such a powerful message. I love that. You're like, I'm doing what I'm doing because of the sport, but I know that I want to be remembered for more than the sport. I want to be remembered for me, the person, as much as I am me, the athlete. I love it. That's great. I'm inspired now. I might go out for a run after this, depending on what time we finish, if the light's still there. Amazing. Now, I'm not going with you because you'll smoke me, and that'll be embarrassing. Because I've got one knee between two legs at the best of it. That sounds like an awful phrase. I'm going to rephrase that. God, I'm distracting myself. Now, the next question: the memorabilia you'd love to add to your collection. What would you?
Yeah, it'd probably be. Like, you get those little mini pins that you can swap. Like, you get them for, like, the Commonwealth Games is quite big on them, or, like, London 2012. I'd quite like to swap pins with somebody from a different country or something from a different country at competitions I've been at. And the only kind of competition that I've been at was in Sweden, where some people swap things. But all they gave me was this little wristband thing that you could put money in or a key. And it was from from Qatar, which is pretty cool. But the thing that I would quite like to have is something that I've lost, actually. I've got a picture with me and Michael Johnson, and it was on a phone.
Wow.
And he came to Edinburgh in 2006 to the Mound, and he was the special guest for the Scottish Athletics dinner. And my picture on my phone, phone was one of these old flip ones, and quite a crude picture. It's not a great camera. I went off to a trip to Alton Towers that summer, maybe a month later, and I lost my phone. And
Oh,
Of course,
no.
back in the day, you didn't back up your photos the same. And I don't know if I sent it on to my dad or somebody else, but yeah, I've lost the picture. So I'd like the chance to kind of meet him again or to recreate the picture. But again, yeah, if I couldn't do that, probably a signed bib with Alison and Felix. 'Cause I
I
know
love
she's
Alison Felix. She's one of the very few names that I follow out with the Olympic cycle. You know, like I know they're really bad, but it's like the Olympic cycle, the Masters cycle, and the Wimbledon cycle when everybody suddenly starts playing tennis. As we're just fresh off that as a good
oh yeah.
example. But Alison Felix has always been one of the names that has stuck with me and things like that. Out with the British community. But that's amazing. That would be amazing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip this and we're going to put it on Twitter because I'm going to make sure Michael Johnson sends you or gets another photo with you when he's next in the same place as you.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be so cool.
All the power of this podcast will get you a photo. If my dying mission is to get you a photo with Michael Johnson now, that is my duty to this planet.
Oh, thanks so much, Sam. Let's hope he gets it.
If you do, tell me where you are, and then I'll drive, and then you say, Michael, just hold on 40 minutes because Sam needs to get you on the podcast. That you can return the favor. We'll get you the photo, and you get Michael on here.
I'll try my best. Yeah.
Sorted.
He's out in Oregon at the moment, but he might be across in Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games. He will hopefully be in the country. We hope, but in the UK.
Yeah, well, he's closer. He's closer than he'll be on most days, so we'll have to go from there. Amazing, but Stacey, that's amazing. So you want to swap something from somebody else from a different country at a combined event to have those.
Yeah.
The problem is you need to now get like a bunch of pins. I feel like you need to give every athlete 10 so they can sort of trade them like cards. I feel.
Yeah, because I've got a couple of friends that have been at the Commie Games in the past. They say that they get given your country one, and then you get your lanyard with your pass on it. And quite a few, it's a tradition, I think, to swap pins with someone and to collect as many as you can from different countries. Which would be pretty cool. So yeah, my friend's like, "Can you try and get the Commonwealth Games one for me?" We were out in the Gold Coast a couple of years ago and managed to get her one, so she was delighted. So she's collected them since she competed there herself. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, something like that would be good. A lot of folk trying to swap vests, like the vest you race in.
Yeah.
Easier to do, I think, sometimes if you're a guy and just finish your race and take it off and pass it on, or a t-shirt or something. But yeah, it's not really the done thing to swap spikes or anything.
No, I was going to say because that's quite common where I come from to trade jerseys, and I was going to say that, but obviously it's quite hard with you guys because it's not just team versus team. So you're doing a direct swap. You could think, well, actually, there's potentially 8 other people in the race of 7, and you're thinking, or even at the 400, there's tons. So how do you make a swap with everybody that was there?
I know it's something I've still yet to see. Although I think they could do that, like how in rugby we chatted earlier about you get your first cap.
Yeah.
Like, it would be cool if they can. I know in the GB team you get an ornament or something to nominate your first selection for GB. They do that, but I don't know if they do it in the Scottish team. It'd be pretty cool if they did though. To kind of highlight.
That's amazing. So what we're saying from this to take away is everybody needs to get some sort of memorabilia piece when they go to the Commie Games or the Olympics or something like that.
I would say so. Yeah, because it's things you'll look back on when you're older. Like the pictures mean a lot, but it's like little trinkets or. I'm very much a person for getting a keyring or a fridge magnet or from any country I've been to. So yeah, I probably have tons of stuff of like random countries and things by the end of it. But it's just.
There'll be one day where you can just pull out this box from the loft or under the bed or something, and you can just spend hours just sitting through it.
Exactly, and it'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that day. It was such and such. Our memory's kind of like that. I'd be like, oh yeah, that was the day that I won that, or you can kind of associate things.
Or you'll end up remember it for the random reason. You'll be like, oh, that's the day my pancakes were really burnt. You'll be like, oh, so I won the 400 meters that day.
Oh yeah, you always remember the daft things like that as well, or like the story behind your competition, or trying to get to the competition, the funny journey you've had, or there's always these funny stories.
God, I'm so jealous, and then I'd love to be able to have those memories. But you were the one that was committed, and I was the one that decided to muck about in school. So I don't envy you at all because it was a difficult journey to get there, and you've worked extremely hard. And just to top it all off, now when I get really credible and amazing people on, I put this silly question in the intro, and now I have to ask everybody it. Would you rather have a bourbon or a custard cream with a cup of tea?
It has to be a bourbon.
Yes, there's definitely a thing like this. More south you go, the more likely I am to get custard cream or bourbon. There's definitely a correlation.
Because bourbons, I feel like you can dunk them into your coffee or your tea, and it doesn't take the taste away. But a custard cream's a bit of a different taste. So yeah, I always dunk any biscuit into whatever I'm drinking.
Oh, it's mandatory, yeah.
Yeah.
Cups of coffee are an excuse to have biscuits. That's the way I look at them.
Oh yeah, and if it falls in, that's the unfortunate thing. But
it's a risky game we all play. Amazing, Stacey. That was the quickfire questions and the memorabilia sorted. You passed that flying colours, in my personal opinion. Some brilliant answers and some brilliant memorabilia you've got. I think I never expected you to pull up that photo. That was amazing. I love that. That's